Alright, hi, my name is Candace Ariana, and for my demonstrative speech for speech class, I'm going to show you how to make a great dish. I love this dish, and so does my family. Even though we're not big spinach people, it's really good. It's called spinach, egg, and spaghetti pie. My mom makes it all the time, and we love it. What you're going to need roughly for this dish is you're going to need about 12 ounces of cooked spaghetti, which I've already cooked here, so you don't have to waste the 7 minutes that usually takes this video. And you have to have it strained and put in a large pot later. You'll see why. Next, you're going to need about 5 cups of marinara sauce, which I have here. I have it separated into 3 cups and 2 cups, and you'll see why in a bit. You need 6 large eggs, right here, already cracked and everything, in a medium to big bowl. You'll need about 4 ounces of Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, shredded already, right here. Then you'll need about 2 cups of half and half, right here. And then you'll need a garlic. This is about 1 clove you'll need. You can either buy that store ground already, or you can press it yourself in a garlic press. I have one here. Put the garlic clove in there and just squeeze it down. Pain in the butt. You'll need about 3/4 to 1 teaspoon of salt for this dish. You'll need about 1/2 to 3/4 teaspoons of freshly ground pepper. And you can use any pepper or any salt. Doesn't really matter. Then you'll need about 16 ounces of thawed and towel pressed spinach, right here. What towel press means you thaw it and then it's wet, so you drain the water, everything you can, and you press a towel over it, and it wicks out all the rest. It stains. It's like grass, so be careful. If you're using a white towel, make sure you clean it right away so you don't get stains. Then you're going to need about 6 ounces of sliced provolone cheese. Then you'll see why in a bit, but that's up till the end. So I'm going to put that off to the side, and then you're going to need some butter to spread it around. Right? And I think that's everything as far as what the ingredients. So let's get on to making this dish. Alright, so you want to take your cooked pasta, ta-da, and you're going to want to mix 2 cups, right here, of marinara in with it. So, you want to make sure it's really well mixed in, because if it's not, then it turns out uneven, and that's not good. And yes, the tomato sauce does splatter, so this is not a clean dish. Alright. Now that that's all stirred up, as you can see, it's all evenly done. There's no big clumps of red or big clumps of white. The spaghetti. So, what you're going to do is you're going to leave that off to the side. Cap it for a bit. Because we're going to get back to that later. Okay, because that's got to cool for a bit. Alright. Next, you're going to take your eggs. And your half and half, you're going to add that to it. Okay. Your garlic. I can add it all. There we go. Your salt. That all out there. Your pepper. And your cheese. Your grated Romano cheese, not the provolone. You don't want to add that yet. Okay. That all in there. And then you want to whisk that. You can either use a whisk, one of these, or a fork. I like to use a fork to start with and then turn to the whisk because it mashes up the eggs yolks better. So I'm going to do that. And while you're stirring this, I like to multitask because, you know, this is just you and me. What you want to do is you want to place the rack in your oven about medium height, which mine already is, and you want to set it to about 375 degrees. And while that's warming up, you can prepare this. So you don't want any big pieces of yolk still floating around. You don't want any big clumps. All right. So we'll leave that there. Oops, I didn't use it. And then you're going to need one of these. It's a 3-inch, about 12-ounce, or 10-inch diameter, 3-inch high cooking bowl, I guess you call it. This is one that's the right height. Some I've seen them a little bit smaller, a little bit taller, but you just want to use 3 inches if you have them. Okay. With the lid, you need the lid with it. All right. So now that you have that, what you do is you spread half of the spaghetti mix that we mixed earlier. Careful. If you use the same pan that you made the spaghetti in, it is kind of hot still, so you want to be careful with that. You take half of it. Okay. That's roughly half of it. And yes, this is a really, again, messy dish, so if you wind up with it all over the place, it's okay. And you want to spread it evenly over the bottom, like so. Maybe a little bit more, because the bottom layer means the most. So if you have to use a little bit more than you wanted to on the bottom, that's okay. You can always make more pasta. Okay, see? Spread evenly around so there's no big gaps or anything. And then what you do is you take the mix that we made earlier, right here, and you want to pour that over the, over here evenly as you can. And again, this isn't exact, it's just how much you need just to make it even. Because that's what's gonna bake into your, what kind of looks like a crust in it, which is how it's supposed to look, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to take half of the mix, about half cup of the remaining. Let's see if I can do this. I might spill it, let's see. You're going to mix the remaining milk in with your spinach. So you're going to pour that on top. Yummy, I know, doesn't it look? Don't worry, it'll look better when we're done. Because remember, you towel dried this spinach, so it's going to be a little bit tough to get it started, to get it mixed in with. We want to make sure it's all mixed in. Okay, there we go. It looked like that when you're done. And then what you're going to do with this is you're going to spread it on top of the spaghetti. Now you don't want to get it worked into the spaghetti because you actually want a layer on top. So, because it's going to be like the middle of the pie. So you want to get that as evenly as possible throughout. Now my family doesn't use a lot of it because we found that 16 ounces is a little bit too much spinach for us. But again, everybody's different, so you guys can use 16 or even more than that if you like, depending on how you or your family like the spinach. Because once you get over 10 ounces, you can actually taste the spinach heavily inside this dish. So, because 10 ounces, it's more like an undertone, so it's not too much. Now you're going to arrange your provolone cheese, which you've sliced up. You need about, depending, I'd say about 16 ounces-ish. It depends on how much you like and how much your family likes. I usually use about 6-7 slices of it. And you just arrange it over here. The spinach. And I'm going to save a bit more from the top because I like to put it on top a bit, but you want it evenly placed throughout. Don't shift it too much because you don't want it to go to one side. And then what you do is you take the rest of your spaghetti that you have, roughly half of it, And then you lay it over top. Here. Okay, so when you're done, again, it looks like that. And you used almost all of the 3 inches that the pan allows. And then what you do with the rest is you pour it over it again. And this, you gotta make sure it's even, like the last time. All right. See? All right, now that you have that, you want to put the lid on top of it. All right, and you're gonna want to stick it into the oven. All right, now warning, oven will be hot. It's at 375 degrees Fahrenheit, so it is extremely hot. So don't burn yourself. Use a glove on it. And believe me, I burnt myself enough of the times. You want to put it on the middle rack. My oven runs a bit hot, so we set it up one so it cooks roughly, because if it's too close to the element, then it happens to burn. Stick this in there. So, you close that up. And you want to, it's going to take about 1 hour to cook. So you want to set your timer for about 1 hour. Alright, so you take it out of the oven. It can take a bit longer in the oven than an hour. Mine roughly took about an hour. And it should look like that. It should be lightly golden brown on top and cooked almost all the way through to the middle. You want a little bit gelatinous in the middle because it will keep cooking for 5 minutes after you take it out of the oven, just because of the size and everything. So after you've got that done, then you warm up the extra marinara sauce that we had left over, and the 3 cups that we had left over. I chose to use a little bit less marinara than 3 cups, but you can use all of it. So you take that out. Again, careful, it is really hot. You're supposed to warm it up in a saucepan, but I prefer to warm it up in the microwave. A lot easier. Okay. Take that out. And then you just pour it over the top, like so. Spread it around. And that's about it. To take it out, I would suggest you take a knife and go around the edges to dislodge it. You're supposed to put butter on around the outside so it doesn't stick. But you know, it does anyway sometimes, so like that. And then when you pull it out, it'll actually look like a pie wedge. So, alright, that's it. Hope you enjoy it.